Do I want the clip in? Or maybe not.
This is what you do before you get on that camera. You make sure it's right.
I mean,
Go through all the changes, right?
Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Tia.
And I'm your host, Koya.
Welcome to the Wig Life Podcast.
For wig lovers and wearers navigating life.
Because it's not just wigs, it's life.
Let's get into the episode.
All right, so we're finally here to do the podcast. How was it coming this time versus last time?
This time, I'm so much more comfortable. I think the first time was just like breaking the ice. Because we talked, but we never met.
So, yeah, and people have said that they were surprised because I have said that we hadn't met before. And they were like, that can't be.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
I was nervous. Because I'm a hugger and I'm very friendly. So I was like, I don't know. Like, if I hug her, she can be like, I don't know you, girl. Don't be in my space. And
then like I just done that video about the things that people don't tell you about YouTube.
Yes.
And how like you don't really know people. Like you think you do, but you only get what they put on camera. Exactly. You only get a small snippet. So we could have met and just been like, oh no.
Yeah. I mean, I figured that we would work out because our conversations were always so good.
We had more conversations than normal.
Yeah.
Than people, you know what I mean?
Probably the average people trying to collab. But there's still something about, just when you meet a person and, for the first time, there's still, stuff to work out.
You're coming to, where I am at and staying. And it was like, that was another thing. It's like, just people's like, when you have to go on that work trip and you have to like share a room and it's like, is this the person that's up all night or snores or like takes 50 years in the shower? Like just the cadence of people. And the whole East Coast, West Coast, like you were on a kind of a different time.
Yeah, definitely different time zone. Yeah.
Because you get up early for your time.
Yeah, when it's 9 o'clock, I'm up like it's 9 on the West Coast too. Like Tia will text me, I'm like, hey!
I know, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's only 6 a.m. there. And she's like, yeah, I was just watching these videos. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I usually get up at about 5.
Nope.
Yeah, I usually get up at about 5. I'm up doing my thing, and I'm usually down hopefully by 9, 10 o'clock. But, yeah, I'm up. I'm doing all the stuff.
Yeah, but that's 9, 10 o'clock. Like, we're talking Pacific versus East Coast.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing, like the time zone thing.
Yeah.
So, you said you feel more comfortable. What else do you think is different?
And then, too, just like, I've never done a podcast before. I've listened to podcasts, but I've never done a podcast. I've never... Actually, I'm lying. I was a guest on my friend's podcast. But I've never been the one doing it. So just the whole experience of, what do we do? We wrote scripts. Thank God. We're very organized. And we work...
We came in organized.
Yeah, we work and plan a lot in the same way. So I think that helped. But just sitting down and just... hoping that when we sit down and talk, we really vibe and it comes through on camera, because it's one thing to hear something, but it's another thing to see something, you know what I mean? So I am happy that not only do we not sound awkward, we don't look awkward either. Like, it looks like it's two people who are friends talking about something they love, which is, I'm glad that's translating, because I feel like that's what it really has happened behind the scenes. So,
and I think it's also funny because we were just talking about this in the car, and we were talking about this before. When we came together to do this podcast, now we talked about that in episode 1. So if you haven't checked out episode 1, we did
go do it.
Talk about how it all came together.
Yeah.
But when I was like, let's do a podcast, I was thinking podcast on YouTube, because that's where I watch my podcasts. But you were thinking
podcast on Apple or Spotify, because I don't watch podcasts. I've never watched podcasts.
Audio only.
Isn't that funny? I've never watched podcasts. So I commute, and I have a very long commute. So podcasts are what I listen to. I don't even listen to the radio. I strictly listen to podcasts. So when Tia first approached me about being a podcast, I'm like, yeah, because I love podcasts. I've wanted to do one, but I already have so much going on. I don't know how I'm going to juggle all that. So when she was like, let's do it, I was like, okay, good. Because that's somebody that will help take some of that workload management. And
we do have similar work ethics.
Yeah, definitely.
And I mean, it's nothing bad to anybody, but we both are like, oh, hey, she's going to come and fly. She's flying from the West Coast. And our goal this time is to get at least 10 episodes done. And we will definitely do that. Actually, what we're filming now is a bonus.
Yeah, yes.
But some people, I mean, that's a lot of filming for some people.
Yeah.
So.
No, we definitely have I don't want to be the girl who's not pulling her weight.
Right. And also, I want to be the one that can get as much done as possible in the time that we have.
And also, talking back just a little bit, I'm going to be just a little transparent. So when Tia approached me, she said, let's do a podcast. When it was time to do the podcast, the audio part, Tia was like, oh, I was just thinking like, we can just drop that later. Let's do the video. And I was like, oh, okay. But inside I'm like, huh? How do you do a podcast without audio? Because for me, podcasts are audio. I know that they're on YouTube, but for me, podcast is an audio experience. And so pretty much I was like, oh my God, like I don't really necessarily want to do just another YouTube channel. I already have 2 YouTube channels. I really want to get into some audio as well. And so I was really sad because I was excited and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull this off because we live on, different coasts and it's a lot of work, and I want anything that I put my name on, anything that we put the Wig Life podcast on to be great. I don't want to just be okay. I want to do great and good work. So I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off. I wasn't thinking that. I'm thinking we're doing audio first and video secondary. And so anyways, we ended up having a conversation, and I told my husband and my family, I'm like, I really want to do this, but depending on how this conversation goes is going to really let me know whether or not this is something to do. Because at that point, we had recorded some episodes, and we had like everything. Like we had all the social media.
Had we recorded already?
Yeah, because I had came out.
Our first meeting.
Yeah, because you were like, well, we can just throw the videos up. You're like, we can just throw the videos up, and I'm like, huh? Just throw the videos up?
Yeah, we had already recorded.
Yeah, we had recorded and everything. So I was like, huh? So I was like, well, how we're able to work this out is going to be, how this conversation for me is going to be whether or not we're going to be able to do it. Because I felt like at this point, even though we had invested time, I still felt like we hadn't went so far because the episodes weren't out yet. Nothing.
We hadn't edited them.
Yeah, nothing.
We were still figuring out the logistics, and I think that's where.
Yeah.
But I think that was a testament of how we could actually work together, because that could have made or break.
Yeah.
Not even a negative, just like we see things differently. Okay, let's just cut ties now.
Yeah.
But we worked through it, and then I'm so glad we did.
Me too.
Because the tides are changing.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of seeing something, like, and we've said this before, like, here's a window.
Yeah.
We're both looking in the window, but we see something different.
Yeah.
And our things did match together, and it made sense the way that we're doing it now.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that. We didn't even know what we didn't know. We didn't know that we couldn't, because we were thinking, okay, like, so we do video second. My like, question and sort of retort to that was, we can always you can always record audio. So you can always put audio on top of video or pictures or whatever.
Right.
But you can't manufacture video after the fact.
Right.
And so that's what I was nervous about.
Yeah.
And I think you were thinking it was just going to be like another YouTube channel.
Yes.
And I was thinking of it was just the vehicle to get the podcast. So YouTube's a vehicle, Spotify's a vehicle.
Yes.
And Apple's a vehicle. And I'm glad we had that conversation, because I wonder how many things have broken down for people simply because the terms they are using in their mind just needed to be defined.
And I actually think I'm actually glad that we've seen it different, because it, first of all, defined how we run things behind the scenes, because I'm in charge of more of the audio portion. You're in charge of more of the video portion. So that kind of defined
we really did diverge, where it's like, okay, this is what you do. We do have defined roles.
Yeah, and I think that's good, because that's workload management. And, not having to worry about everything, right? Which is one of the great things about partnership, because I told Tia, and I'm telling you, look, I was like, look, Tia, I didn't work with people, and it don't always work out. So I'll be waiting for the BS. I'll be waiting for the BS to happen. And I know that's such a horrible way to approach
it. It's
things,
real, though.
But my experience has been not the greatest. So I already so when that happened, I was like, I'm not going to say no, but how we handle this is how it's going to be. And I'm glad that we had that in the beginning, because I think it laid a really strong foundation. Because nothing is perfect. No people are perfect, though. I'm sure we'll have more issues as things go on, but I think we both know what to expect from each other. And the thing we agreed to do is like kind of check in now. And kind of like,
and I also
what are you thinking? How are you thinking things are going? That kind of thing, which is good.
Well, and I think that because we had that, it's kind of like, it's like any relationship.
Yeah.
Like when you have your first fight, if you can work through it, then you understand, like, yeah, we're going to have disagreements because we're two people and we're two strong-minded, capable females. So we are going to have, but it was the fact that we were able to talk about it and work it through.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm glad we did.
So we know we can do that.
Both things are strong because of that. Because we're passionate about what we seen.
I really think that.
Yeah. You were passionate about the video and I was passionate about the audio. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're both strong. And neither one of
us were wrong. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
We had two separate ideas.
Yeah.
But neither of us was wrong.
Right.
It was actually, like I said, the reason why I didn't do a podcast on my own, or you didn't do, it's almost like we needed each other. We needed those different views to be like, hey.
And it's funny you said that, because that's what my sister said. She goes, Tia has what you need and you have what Tia needs. So you guys are going to be good together.
Is that what she said?
She did. When I told her, like, we worked everything, she's like, just because I was like, I don't know, girl. I was like, you know how it be. When I work with people, it always be a mess. I don't know, girl. And she was like, no, just see, you're doing right. Just talk about it. She goes, but I think, I think it'll be workable. And then after I told her, yeah, we talked, we worked out, we're going to do it, I'm excited. She was like, I think you guys will be good, because I think you have what Tia needs and Tia has what you need. I think you guys have a good balance of what each other needs.
It's so funny because in the first episode, we discussed like how I was saying, podcasts that I was attracted to.
Yeah.
And the one that I liked, the two YouTubers individually, but together I just didn't think they had enough, I guess, yin and yang. I couldn't vocalize it then. Mm-hmm. It's that yin and yang. The two things that fit together and make it whole.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's why I like the other podcasts, same genre, same type of people, because they do have the yin and yang. They don't always agree. They do have different things, but I feel like it also kind of set us up to, like you were saying, the work distribution.
Yes.
I think because I am so passionate about YouTube and video and the filming and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And
I listen to podcasts. Like, I'm like, podcasts are a thing, Tia. I'm like, no, people listen. It's a thing, Tia.
Yeah. And I was like, but I feel like because of that, though, like, she's so good at, and I haven't told you this is the first time you're going to hear me say this. You're so good at just the whole, like, social media management, the thinking through, because when you're creating content, it isn't just sitting down in the filming. There is, and we both have videos out on our channels, also coming out on our channels on workflows and things. Yeah. But not that I'm not good at that workflow, but I'm so passionate about the idea and the filming and the pictures and stuff. I don't get as caught up in the necessary, like, the posting on the Instagram, the, hey, we have a Twitter, we have a TikTok.
Yes,
I'm like,
ma'am.
Like, and just, like, the routine of it.
Yes.
Because I think I'm a full left brain creative. Mm-hmm. So for me, once the passion, I'm like, oh, that's why I think I batch film. That just come to me. That's why I batch film the way I do. Sometimes I'll say that because when I'm in the mood.
Yeah.
I'm like, go.
Get it.
And when I'm not in the mood, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And I think you're more like, this is the day I do this. This is the day I do that.
Yes.
Feel it or not, this is the day. So
very much.
It's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we can harness both those things.
Yes. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. All those. We have them.
TikTok.
We are TikToking. We're tweeting. As my husband says, Twitter. He's like, I'm Twittering for us.
I don't even know if we can put this in, but I have a friend that calls it twatter. She was like, I was on Twitter the other day, and I was like,
Tweeter. That's what he calls it, tweeter. I'm tweetering for you. I'm tweetering. I'm like, tweetering?
Depending on what the topic is, it could be one or the other.
You could be tweetering or twatting. Oh, my God.
Can't get on the
Don't take us off. Okay.
Yeah, so I think this time, I think it goes to show for, any of this, and you're going to see, pictures and video that we're going to insert in this one from our trip this time. We didn't think about it last time until after the fact.
Well, I think because the first time it was October, I think. And we were pushing to get it done for January because we knew we have holidays.
We got together.
And my house, like birthdays from the second week of October till literally the end of November, every week. And I'm not kidding. Every week, multiple times a week, there are birthdays.
Well, and then you travel for your job.
Yeah, and I travel. So I was like, Tia, like, if we're going to get this done, we got to, like, get it done. So I'm like, I'm coming out there. We're going to get it done.
We talked about this in September. And we had filming by October, and we had our first podcast the first week in January. That turnaround time is insane.
It is. Now, it
didn't seem that big of a deal then, but now I'm like...
No, looking back, hindsight is always 20/20. It definitely does now. But you know what? I also think ignorance is bliss.
But it didn't then. It didn't seem...
No.
It seemed ambitious, but it didn't seem like...
It didn't seem impossible.
No, but if someone were to tell me, so what? That's essentially October, November... December, 3 months that they're going to start a podcast, film multiple audio, video, multiple episodes.
Yes.
So they were going to have so if they were saying we're going to start it now, and by mid-March, March 15th, we're going to have 4 episodes done, promo photos done, all social media's up, channels up.
By January 4th. Because we launched
No, I'm saying if someone told me today
today
they were going to do this by mid-March, I'd be like...
You are?
I'm talking channels up, every social media, logo.
Yes.
Yeah, the logo.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, what we got to... Now that I'm thinking about that, if someone told me that this is what they were going to do by then, and that they had jobs, other channels, and
whole
other
families.
businesses, I would have been like...
Girl.
Yeah, I guess ignorance is bliss because it seemed ambitious, but it didn't seem... impossible, like you're saying.
No. Well, my sister told me, she was, you don't think you're doing too much? She was like, aren't you doing a second YouTube channel? And I was like, And she was like, you don't think you're doing too much? And I was like, But I'm the queen of doing too much.
I mean, so you were doing too much.
I mean, now I feel like I probably was, but no, at the time, no, because I just wanted it. And I don't
show, put your mind to it.
Yeah, and then I don't want to but I felt like this was special. I really did. I felt when we started actually talking and planning out what we want to do and the topics and the things that we want to talk about and the intention and the purpose behind doing the podcast, that was important to me.
I also think,
that's why I was like, no, let's do this.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think, and I've said this because we've talked about this before, we have a lot of people in our sphere that like want to start YouTube channels, and that's how our collab started, right?
Yeah.
But I also do feel like at the end of the day, we did not have we had learning curves on certain things, but we mostly knew how to do a lot of the stuff. So some people who are like, I want to start a podcast, whether it's video or not, they're not even really used to, I mean, when you're a YouTuber, you're essentially sitting in a room talking to yourself and but pretending to talk to other people. Yes. So it is I guess you could say skill. It's a skill.
Absolutely, 100%.
To seem comfortable.
Yes.
Right?
100%.
So I feel like we did have an advantage because we already had, that's not something we had to work out. And I think had we come together, I'm not saying that I don't think we still would have had chemistry in the topics, but had we not been used to like being on camera or just talking to an audience that actually isn't in front of us, I do think that we would have had that would have been too ambitious of a time frame.
Yeah, we definitely came in not at square one. We definitely came in...
Set of skills.
Yeah, we definitely came in a little bit higher than the average bear when it came to that. But the audio portion, and I'll just say this too, the audio portion did not go the way I wanted it to go. And Tia was like, Ikoya, it's okay. And I was like, but it ain't. Because I'm perfect and this is not.
But it worked out.
And it was really good. But
see, that's the Pisces in me. Mine's like, oh my God, like the dreamer, the fish. But I was like, listen, I don't want you to discount all that we have done.
Yeah.
Because our little hurdle was a very small hurdle.
Yeah, because it didn't launch on Apple Podcasts that day. It just was out on Amazon and Spotify.
It was just out on Amazon, Spotify, YouTube. Listen, are you listening, people? Because it was only out on every other place that most people, if they were going to watch it, was going to watch it.
But see, that's the Scorpio on me. Very passionate. If we were lovers, we're good. I think I read that.
Yeah, Scorpio is one of my matches.
Yeah. So maybe that's helping with she's my work lover.
I'd have been like, it's okay.
My boss
babe.
wife.
We'll get it. Right?
Because I was like, and she was like, Ikoya, it's okay. We can listen to
Scorpio. I feel like Jeremy's a Scorpio.
Is he?
His birthday's November.
Late October, early November.
Yeah, November 18th.
I knew I liked him. See, Scorpios, if you're a Scorpio watching, put it down in the comments.
And he is, listen, my partner he has told me that I have made things, he's had to grow a lot being with me, and not in a negative way.
Yeah.
But just, he's like, even when he was talking about the YouTube thing, like, he's like, you've expanded me, and he's like, you make me a better person. But like, our mutual apartment together, that's more his than mine in terms of the decor. He would like it if you didn't know anybody lived there. Like, he likes it that in the building, they use that sometimes as a tour apartment when he's not here.
I believe it. Because it's perfect, you guys.
And it's perfect. I come down. How much crap is everything? I've been down here in our apartment together for literally 2 hours. There's stuff everywhere. So I think he is a Scorpio because it's November. What is Scorpio? November. His birthday is November 19th, I'm pretty sure. Or no, I'm sorry, 17th or 18th.
I'm pretty sure he's a Scorpio.
I think he is.
I think he just is the beginning of when it starts. Yeah, I'm almost positive he is.
Bio dates.
While you're looking up that, my husband is a Scorpio. So when we are here, we're here. And when we're not, we are not.
Yeah, I bet not. What's the dates?
Love and war. I love you, Booty. I'm sure you're going to watch this. And he does the audio editing for
he does, and he's awesome
for the podcast. That's his jam,
and the beats, because I needed this 90s beats type
he does
thing,
all the beats for the commercials and stuff.
He knew what I was talking about.
He loves doing all that.
Oh yeah, October 23rd to November 21st. His birthday's the 17th or 18th of November.
Okay,
so he's a Scorpio too. Oh, you got to tell him when you get.
See, me and Jeremy, because we were just in the car talking about, I'm just going to say, we were talking about our profanities, and I was like, it's okay, Jeremy, because sometimes you need that, so people feel
sometimes
weird.
You need an F-bomb.
Yeah, I was like, sometimes you got to drop that F-bomb, because they don't know what you're talking about unless you give it to them. So we laughed about that, but yeah.
No, so yeah, I think it's been a whirlwind. Now that we're talking about it, we're still at the beginning of this ride. I'm excited to see what happens for 2023. I hope you guys stay with us and enjoy what we've been doing and bringing and the interviews. I love talking to people.
Yes,
that's been really so fun.
I was so nervous the first interview. So nervous. And
tell them the truth about the first interview. So the first interview was the one with Faith.
Yes.
So
Still Looking Good 58 or My Mature Style Online.
Yeah, My Mature Style on Facebook. Great group. You should try that. Go to that group. So this was the first time that we had actually done it remotely. So all three of us were remote.
Yes.
So we do have that. Just a side note for people who are like, oh, well, I can't fly across the country. The reason she can come is she works in the industry. Yeah. And also we are able to batch film all day because I work for myself. I have my schedule. Yeah. But we do have the backup of being able to film in separate places, and that was really important.
Yeah.
Hopefully the next trip will be me going to California. So we'll see about that. But don't think that you have to be face-to-face. If this is something you really want to do and you're not in a location and you find someone to vibe with, we figured it out quite quickly. Yeah. They're remote. But it was the first time we were filming remote. It wasn't just me and her. So then we were also filming remote with a third person.
Somebody else, yeah.
So.
And I have, like, I'm the queen of Apple products. And so if you have Apple products, you know, they all link to each other and talk to each other. Recording on my laptop, we're doing the recording, and I'm a part of all these, like, me and my family have all these little text groups where we text each other. They just in there, just texting, and the computer is like, bing, bing, and Faith is trying to talk. And so
like, Faith is talking.
Yeah. And I'm trying to, like, because we are recording, so I'm trying to keep a straight face. So that,
well, and we recorded live, and then I edited after the fact, and, like, add in the pictures and do all that.
Those bings.
It was binging so much, and then her face was like, so I had to. I'm proud of myself at the editing job, because I had to edit not
Tia
only
is the
your
queen of
face
editing.
out.
She can get a whole job being an editor for somebody. Seriously.
It was. Sometimes the bings would hit on words that were important or not. So I did have to do some monkeying around, and then I had to crop her out sometimes because you could see how
I was
distressed.
Mortified because I was trying to go in the computer and turn them off and pay attention, trying to multitask. And so finally I just took myself out of the text groups on my phone, and my cousin seen and put me back in. She was like, no, girl. So
you're like, I did that on purpose.
She's recording. We can't have her. I was like, yes. So, yeah.
So, but it worked out.
It did.
We learned. Yeah. We did 3 interviews. So even in the remote, we did 3 interviews back to back to back. So I also feel like we learned so much in that day.
We did. And we are learning on the job. So I want people to know, because people and I'm one of those kind of people too, and I have to work through that because I'm a perfectionist, and I sometimes do that too. What is it? Analysis paralysis, where you're like so busy learning how to do something that you get stuck in the learning and you don't actually, like you take in all the information, but you don't do what you learned. And I can get that way. But I want you to know that when it comes to this podcast, me and Tia are learning on the job, because
I don't know if it was analysis paralysis for you. I think it was the fact that you were like, okay.
That's why I want to tell people, don't get stuck in that. Go. Yeah, because we are learning on the job. Like, we didn't sit back. I didn't say, well, I'm serious about the audio, but I don't know how to do the audio, so we're not going to do it. I just was like, I want the audio, and I'm going to figure out how to do it. My husband's the audio engineer. I'm like, hey, you got to help me. Let's figure out how to do it.
That's why I didn't want to do the audio.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we both have YouTube channels. We know how it works. We know, why would we not just do that?
Yeah.
And she was like, because it's audio, and that's what we should do.
Like, you cannot have a podcast without audio.
In this scenario, it worked out well. I think that, if anything, not saying I'm perfect, because I am not. Listen, I am a Pisces, which means I am half on earth and half in the clouds all the time. All the time. But I do think that for you, sometimes I think where you get caught up is that you're like, okay, this is the steps to being great, right?
Oh, yeah.
This whatever video or instructions say to do bing, 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 and bing.
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, I have to do bing, bing, and bing, and bing, and then I'll get to bing. Me, I'm kind of like, oh, hey, I'm already at bing. We're going to loop around and get the other things, right?
Yes.
Like, I do again, neither one's bad, and I think it's a good
we complement each other in that way.
But I think you get so distressed when it's like, but I'm like,
even today when I text you, I was like, I'm having a mechanical on my flight. I was like, it'll be fine. I'm going to have to run. And I was like, I hope you're noticing by now, I don't like when things are going to plan. And you're like, I died on the plane.
We have to film more tomorrow.
Literally
we have to
died.
Film more tomorrow.
Yeah. And I already was getting I'm one of those people who have to be like, Ikoya, you're not in control. Lean into this, because you're not in control. Because I like
we can plan
A, B, C,
and
D,
we
F, G for sure. I am type A all day.
I'll keep that more in mind because my partner is the same way. So now I am seeing a little bit more how you and Jeremy are.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny because my husband is the same way. And when I freaked it, because I called Tia at 4 a.m. because the podcast, the audio part comes out at 7 in the morning, her time, 4 a.m. my time. And that was the whole strategy behind that, is we wanted people to listen, on their way to work or whatever. And so anyways, I was like, Tia, it's not on Apple. It's not here. I can't. But I was like a hot
I had to get out of bed because
mess.
I'm not trying to get out of bed.
I told Tia that I was going to do the audio. And
I fought for the audio, and now
I was going to have it on every platform. And now I'm only on 3. And I know how ridiculous that is, but at that moment, you guys, I was serious as a heart attack.
She was losing it.
And Tia was like, Ikoya,
but then we looked it
We
up.
have a podcast, and
we
have to do steps to get to Apple. It's okay.
I was like, people listened to it this morning on Spotify. They listened to it on Audible. Yeah. We found out that like the whole Apple part of the podcast is
that's a whole thing.
Like, it was already autofilling when we started putting out, like, why isn't my podcast? And everyone, like, it's a problem when you don't even have to go.
Yeah, it pops up on its own. It's like, we struggle with this.
So many people. I mean, it was so many people were like.
Yeah, because it's a whole process. And the process, I did read it, but it wasn't clear. Like Tia said, it's like steps A, B, C. And I was like, no, I did A, B, C, but I didn't do D. So, anyways.
And D is kind of like hidden underneath C.
Yeah.
So, it was not something that was she didn't do. This was something that in general.
But I was livid.
Okay.
I was livid. And thank you for being like, Ikoya, we have audio. You can listen to the podcast. You act like you can't listen. I was like, but I want to listen everywhere because that's what I said.
Well, I just wanted you to see.
Yeah.
The work that we did. Like, yes, we can always improve. We're going to look back in a year and think we could have, or let's do something better, right? You can always improve, but in general, like how many people just don't even start their dream, or they get certain ways, or all the people we look up to, if we look back at where they were in the beginning, they were making mistakes, and I feel like we're making less mistakes, and we've figured out a lot of things that a lot of people can't. So to me, you're always like, give them their flowers. Well, we need to give ourselves our flowers. You need to give your own flowers.
I do not give myself flowers, though.
Okay, well, here's the flowers. Because
I'm good at giving other people flowers. Like, even when Tia was like, Ikoya, how do you like how the video came out? I was like, it's really good. I like it. I said, but even if I didn't, I wouldn't say anything. Because, remember that? I was like, but I ain't going to critique you, girl, because I ain't going to do it, so I'm not going to tell you it's not good. And you were like, Ikoya. I was like, no. No, but seriously.
But I wanted you to like it.
I love it. I think you do an awesome job at editing the podcast. 100% better than I could ever do. I thank God for that conversation that we had, because
I actually love editing.
I feel like it pushed us into what our strengths are. I really think that's what that conversation did. So I thank God for it. But yeah, I think you do a beautiful job. I could never
on the audio part at all.
Yeah, I could never do that. And shout out to my husband. Really, he is the one who made me feel like I could do the audio. And he was so excited. He was like, babe, no, we going to do this audio because we really listen to a lot of podcasts. Like, listen, we don't necessarily, I don't think we watch any podcasts.
But I also think that's another point before we, move on to our next, because we got a lot of filming to do. But I think it's really important. We have supportive partners.
Yes.
I don't think we could do, and Jeremy, I probably don't tell you this enough, but I think having that supportive partner who not only is just supportive, but like really, like Jeremy was like, let's get you guys some sponsors. Let's do this. Like we both have partners that are like, okay, listen, even if you can't go the full way, give me the baton. I'll finish this part, that part.
Yeah. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I call my husband Mr. Silky. So Mr. Silky, love you, boo. And he is very much, he's super proud. And he very much is like, do it. I'm going to do the audio. I'm going to do the commercials. He even was like, when you go out there, I need you to come back. Get them videos done.
Yeah, last time he was like, you guys didn't film enough.
Yeah, he was like, you only filmed those many? I was like, ooh, okay.
All right.
The Scorpios. Poor Tia surrounded by all these Scorpios. Bless your heart.
I mean, I'm the one that's the queen of batch filming, so I don't know what y'all are talking about. But in terms of like all the other stuff, I'm like, meh. It's. I mean, that is how. Like, to me, I get crazy about certain things, but there's certain things. It's like someone was talking about with like wigs. I'm like, yeah. Sometimes I just don't even care. I'm like, do you see my lace? Do you see that this is like, a full cap wig?
It's a wig,
I don't care. Like, but there's some things I'm like, oh my God. So I'm just more particular about like what I'm invested in, and the other stuff I just don't care about. But I enjoy that you, not only that you bring that to the table, but honestly, it makes me feel very supported when I go on Instagram and you've already been posting. Like, I don't have to worry about it. I can just repost, and I do a lot of stuff like that to like repost and really promote and do clips and things like that. But like, I feel like you give this whole machine the structure that it needs. I think together we give the planning.
Yes.
And
that's your strong suit. You're great at that, Tia. You're very great at the details in like planning and like organizing that back end kind of stuff. That's your strength for sure. No, absolutely, 100%. And editing the hell out of the videos. Because look, Equoia do not like to edit. I edit. Do I like to edit?
See, that's the thing. I want to hire, I'm going to hire some people for my business. I am hiring a virtual assistant.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they say, you should hire
your
out
weakness.
Things.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people say to hire the editing. Mm-hmm. At some point, maybe I will. But I actually wish I could. I love editing. So I would rather edit than. Like, I'd rather hire out a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm going to start doing, actually, is because I love that. That's why, so for me to edit and then them do the audio is perfect because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
I just need to get that computer so that I don't keep messing in all the space.
Well, I want to say to you guys, too, thank you for watching, because if we didn't have people watching us, even with all the support and the stuff in the background, we do this really for you. So thank you for all your love and support. You guys have been awesome. Commenting, subscribing, sharing, sending messages, really
sharing their stories, their conversation.
Because that's what the whole point and intention behind this is. And then I have to tell you too, Tia, thank you for asking me. Because this was Tia's idea. Like I said, I listened to podcasts. I wanted to do one, but I just know how I work. And I was like, I can't take that on by myself. So I'm just not going to do it. And so when you asked me, I was like, yay, because I want to do it. And so I thank you for, because there's a bunch of us out here that you could have asked. I'm not the only person you've ever collabed with. So I don't know.
You're the only person I considered asking. I'm being serious.
Don't make me get emotional.
Yeah, we got more filming to do.
Yeah, but seriously, thank you, because like I said, I wanted to do a podcast. So I don't think I would have done it if you weren't like, because I was like, okay, Tia works. I kind of works like me, but now I realize not only do you work like me, but you're strong where I'm not. So I think we're a really good team, and I hope that you guys will continue to watch and support and keep coming back, because we got some good stuff.
We do.
Yes.
All right. See you guys soon. Bye.
If you enjoyed the episode and you'd like to help support the Wig Life podcast, please subscribe and leave a rating or review wherever you like to listen.
To stay up to date with the Wig Life podcast, visit our website and follow us on socials everywhere at Wig Life Podcast. See you.